Hello, hello. All right. You ever just like put so much of your time and money and energy and effort into one thing, and it's the moment that you're not paying attention to it that it actually decides to do something that you never expected? Yeah, I'm talking about that little dip we had. Bitcoin has just gone up and up and up and up and up and up. If you zoom out, you'll see what I mean. And then this last 2 days, we've had a little bit of a retracement in the Bitcoin price, and everybody's just freaking out. I heard like over $1 billion in liquidations had happened. That's people who are using leverage to basically invest or speculate on the price movements of cryptocurrency. They they basically borrow other people's money to invest and use it to basically amplify their gains and losses is what they're doing. Now, typically over the weekend, Bitcoin price usually goes down. I don't know why. It's a lot of it probably is because the markets, the regular markets, like the big hedge funds and banks and 9 to 5 people and jobs and the normal stock market are all closed during non-normal weekend hours. Whereas crypto is, of course, open 24 hours a day. So there is still trading going on, but typically the volumes are down. So therefore, if you're having a really good weekend, which has not been the case most weekends lately, then you'll see the price as it's going up actually not go up as fast as it would during the week. So the best thing you can hope for is a rally to start early in the week, so that way you can really finish that rally out strong. But that's of course if you're betting on the price of crypto, Bitcoin, or any investment going up. If you're investing and you're doing it on the weekend, then just know that you're not going to have quite as much of those price swings as you would during the weeks because there's just more people investing during the weekdays. Now, this price dip, what I've noticed is it's a pretty uh, significant one. It's probably 15% or so for a lot of coins, and even more for some, and less for others, which is significant, especially if you're losing leverage. If you're, say, for instance, using 5x leverage, and you're investing um, along on the hopes that that was a bull flag, that even I had thought that was a bull flag, um, it turned into some other formation like a Bart Simpson top where it's multiple peaks and valleys, and eventually it did a retracement. So it actually became more of like a bull trap where basically people thought it was going to go up. So don't let that discourage you from continuing to hold steady. And let's just remember these investments, in my opinion, and how I'm investing, is that these are just long term investments. People who invest in crypto with the hopes that they'll get rich tomorrow, it does happen in crypto, but it's actually not very common. It happens when you hear about it, just like any other time you've heard about it, everybody heard about it. It's the same people telling the same stories, and it doesn't happen to the majority. It just happens to a few minority people. One reason they say that the price of Bitcoin may have went down was because Satoshi era wallet was cashing out like 2 billion in Bitcoins. Was done on the Kraken exchange, and it was done over the counter. So it was done off the exchange through Kraken's network. But and that didn't cause the price to drop right away. We're starting to see some of the effects of those selling now. I do believe that we had achieved a pretty significant Bitcoin dominance for the first part of this whole bull run. It's been 3 years going on now, a bull run. We know that the bear cycle is about a year, and the bull cycle is about 3 years. So we're on the final leg. This is going to be the finale coming up, but I don't think we've seen the finale just yet. So there's really no way to know for sure how far this pullback is going to go. The further that the pullback goes, honestly, probably the longer duration you'll see the final leg go up. Not necessarily meaning anything specific, and this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. So if you want financial advice, you should get a financial advisor. But I always do my investing based on my own research, and that sounds a little bit cheesy, but that literally is how I live my life because I don't listen to any one person about investing. I just learn through experiences and I take suggestions from people. So you should do the same thing. Now, if you're the type of person that's having trouble coming up with any kind of extra money to start investing, it's a common problem. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. I suggest reading a few investment advisor books. First of all, you probably need to do is start a budget, and then you know where your money goes, and that'll help you get started. If you're investing in crypto as some sort of a last ditch attempt to beat inflation, then I feel you because I am too. And it's sad, but it is the reality of today's world that inflation has gone up at a higher rate than most assets can actually keep up with. And now with the price of most Mag 7 stocks and the price of gold, there's no question that there's still a chance that we might see a dip in those assets as well, which means that we don't know that these are good investments because they've done so much. I mean, people thought Berkshire Hathaway had, was at a crazy price too, so they bought similar stocks. Just Berkshire Hathaway actually ended up just going up and up and up and up. But the way that I make my investments is not based on any person's advice. I'm basically trying to figure out where the future's going. And I'm 40 years old roughly. I'm 39 technically, but I have a good 25 years I can work before I'm eligible for retirement, at least 28 years technically. What that means is I got that long to figure out how to get out of this early, or else I just do what everybody else does and rely on Social Security to help meet some of my needs. I'm not trying to ever rely on Social Security. So I have started investing now. Unfortunately, a lot later in life than some people. I didn't really have anybody in my life that was willing to talk to me or help me understand investing or that money. But YouTube has really changed the game for me. It's brought some of the most wealthy people um, into the public and given normal people like myself the ability to follow, learn, and just experience different opportunities and learn from some of the most wealthy people in the world's life experiences, which has really been a very valuable thing for somebody like me. Now, I am not wealthy by any means, but I am wealthy than most of the people I know. So I do come from a place of, they say you're going to be as no wealthier than the average of your, what, seven closest friends. I don't even have seven close friends, y'all. So therefore, there's no number for me. But what I do is I try to follow some of the people who are way wealthier than I, and they're all crazy. They all did something fucking crazy, and that's the fact about it. Michael Saylor, for instance, the Bitcoin billionaire that has bought more Bitcoin than any other person, including the United States government. Crazy. Elon Musk, the man who said that um, we need to build all electric cars when nobody was building electric cars. We need to go to space and colonize other planets. Crazy. Jeff Bezos working out of his garage, starting a bookstore online, saying that um, he's going to sell more items than any bookstore, and he had no storefronts. He was just going to do it online. And he said the reason they're going to buy at my bookstore is because I have more books. I can give them any title they want. And he may have been the first person to ever dropship, because how could a person start in their garage have more books than a bookstore like Books A Million or Barnes and Noble? It's just not possible. He just probably was able to drop ship it out and just keep a hold of those things. It's just fucking crazy. And it just goes down the line. I can go on and on forever. And we can go way back. We could talk about Edison and how he kept fucking trying to build something that never been built, the light bulb. And eventually, knowing from the spark of just some filaments heating up from electricity traveling through a filament, that eventually you could get something that would sustain the heat and last and give you something that you can use. So now we can see at night and we don't have to burn candles, y'all. It's 112 in Florida lately, so we don't want to burn too many candles. But that's just an example. Fucking crazy, right? So, being crazy is the secret to being uniquely successful amongst your peers. So for me, what makes me crazy, dude, I fucking do so much. Like I always am working. Like people are like, oh, y'all want to get on the game. Oh, y'all want to go out and do this and have social life and watch TV and do these things that I just see as zero gain things. Like there are things that don't actually give me any increase in the quality of my life in the long run. They don't allow me to not have to stress about the day to day grind because I'm still gonna have to work until all my bills are paid. I'm out of debt and I'm um, I'm essentially able to take my money and have it work for me so I can have a sustainable income and then eventually I can have all my bills paid off and then I don't have to worry about whether inflation is going to come. I need enough money in the bank that I don't have to worry about that shit. And so the reason I'm so into crypto is because I do think that it is one of the only things um, that will beat inflation. There's not many things that will beat inflation, um, but crypto has proven to do that time and time again. And there's been many times that crypto didn't beat inflation. You know, every bear year, it's like, oh, Bitcoin is down way more than any other asset. Well, yeah, I mean, we had a freaking record-setting bull run just before the bear market. So, you have to really take your time horizon and zoom out. You don't want to look at your current situation and compare it to your situation of where you'll be at in the future. So one of the famous things that I heard from Alex Hormozy, another one of my role models, was that people will dramatically think they can do more than people will think they can do more in 1 year than they really can, and really underestimate what they can do in 5 years. Meaning that like you will think that you can just start eating salads and doing 50 push-ups a day, and next thing you know, you're going to be some kind of a jacked, zero-fat bodybuilder that can do unlimited amounts of reps of any calisthenic, and that's just not how it is. But in 5 years, people think that they are still going to be doing the day-to-day grind, but if they just were to take those small steps, like eat that salad or eat the salad from the garden you grew and save the $5 and invest it. Um, that's my investing principles. That's how I invest. I figure out where I can save because I'm maxing out what my time can do to earn me money. So all I can do now is to try to save more. So because I work literally all hours I'm awake, so I'm just like a Chinese person. Um, so what I'm doing is I am trying to find more ways to save money. And what I've come up with are some strategies that have allowed me to take money that would have been just gone and actually invest that money into something that I know will beat inflation. So one instance is I have an app. It's called Upside. Y'all may have heard of it. It's a pretty popular app. Well, I've made more money on Upside than anybody I know. Not saying I made a lot, just I haven't met anybody that made more money than me. I use it every time I fill up. I go out of my way or wait till I'm on my way to fill up on the Upside app. And it's mostly like Circle K's and Kangaroos, I think, that do the Upside app. But essentially, I've already saved $400 in 6 months. That's just free money, y'all. Like I use the Upside app and I do the discount rewards. I've signed up for every discount program there is online. I take that money from Upside and I invest it straight into Bitcoin. And I keep track of how much I'm investing. So I know this is free Bitcoin for me. Like I haven't spent any real money on Bitcoin when I do that. So it's like the money I saved has gone into real money, right? So I took a deflationary asset like dollars or dineros or greenbacks or the American dollar basically, and I've invested into a non-depreciating asset like Bitcoin. Um, so that's one way I was able to save money. I also, and this is for the really savvy investors, this is a tip that I don't suggest anybody do, because if you're not good with your money, you're going to fuck this up. So don't fuck this up. But basically, I have a credit card that pays me 3% for fuel, 1% for every other transaction. When there's something I normally would have bought with my regular debit card, sometimes, as long as I know I can clear it over the sustainable period of time and within a month, I'll take and I'll use it for all my fuel purchases that I'm already getting upside rewards on, and I'll get the 3% cash back on my credit card. I'll pay that off literally before it even processes. I'll use that as a transaction on my credit card, and I will pay it off within 5 minutes. So if I was going to pay for my fuel with the debit card, I just pay for it on my credit card, and I prepay on my credit card, and every month I get a reward for that. So in the last 6 months or so, I've been able to acquire probably $500 or $600 in fuel in reward dollars through one of my credit cards. So now we took $400 in fuel savings. We added $500 or $600 in rewards on my credit cards, and now I'm looking at $900 in 6 months of free Bitcoin. Well, I've been buying Bitcoin all along, and I'm beyond that now. I can tell you some more tips I've done to get more money, but so I've already acquired over like 1% of a Bitcoin. Like, what do you do? 1% of a Bitcoin, 0.01. Some people online, that's their thumbnails. Like, buy 0.01 Bitcoin and you'll be rich in the future. And there is some merit to that. Like, there is some merit to that. I can explain in more detail if y'all want me to. But so I've already gotten free like 1% of a Bitcoin, plus probably closer to 1.5% now of a Bitcoin. So some of the other techniques I've done to buy things of value was to figure out where I was wasting money. Like, for me, I was a smoker, a vapor, a dipper. I did all that shit forever, and then I found a way to quit. And I did talk about this in my last live, but it's not on my podcast, and this is my podcast now. So I convinced myself to quit vaping, dipping, smoking, all that, by simply figuring out what it was that I really wanted more. And I knew the amount of times I thought about how bad this stuff was for my health, how much of a waste of money it was. I knew I wanted to quit. I just didn't know how. And then finally I found a video. A guy was a lame ass video. Like, guy was like, no, there are no side effects to quitting. There's no withdrawals. There's no fucking hangovers, and you're not going to be getting headaches. And I'm like, bullshit. I tried to quit 100 times, and it never worked. And I found out what it was. There was a problem with quitting, and it was something that I did overcome, and anybody can do it. It's one step at a time, of course. I said, I tell you what, I'm spending $40 a week buying vapes. If I go 1 week, and I've been really big into silver. I started watching Silver Slayer. He was on Robert Kiyosaki's podcast. Like I said, the 7 people I surround myself with are always the most wealthy people in this world. And that's because I want to follow the footsteps of the greats. Robert Kiyosaki's podcast, I learned about Silver Slayer. Silver Slayer was talking about this really good opportunity with silver and the use cases of silver, and then the demand is way higher than the supply. So the supply and demand factor alone, I knew for a fact that silver was a good investment. And it didn't really pan out how well I thought it would, but it motivated me to quit vaping. So $40 a week, that would buy me about an ounce of silver a week. That would be more than an ounce of silver, but I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll keep 10. It'll help the bank account, $10, and I'll invest that 30 when silver was actually closer to $30 when I started this, even lower. I remember when it was $22. It went way down there for a little while, and it was lower than that. I just don't remember it. But so I was like, every week that I quit vaping, because I was buying 2 a week and it was 2 for $40. I'll buy myself an ounce of silver. So I did it. I quit And then I bought that first ounce, and it was like I held that fucking silver, y'all. Like I have a stack of silver now, but I bought that first fucking ounce of silver and changed my fucking way of looking at silver. I never owned real money until I decided I would buy that first piece of silver. I have a shitload of silver now, but I got a shitload of guns too, by the way. I got a shitload of shit. But anyways, what I'm saying by that is that once I held real fucking money, I viewed money a little bit differently for the first time. I viewed it as an actual materialistic thing that you can hold, and if I was to show that to anybody, they're gonna want it because it has real fucking value, like way more real value than that piece of paper we call money. While that piece of paper moves the world, that silver coin I was holding, it felt different. It felt like real money. So what I'm getting at is I found that. So this is the part that y'all need to know if you're really one of the ones that's trying to quit vaping, dipping, smoking. First of all, I said no side effects. What that means is, what is it? Why do I keep bouncing back? It's triggers. They're triggers. You've set these little habits in your life of everything you do becomes a trigger. So, like for me, it'd be, oh, I had a bad day. I need to chew some tobacco, or I need to smoke a cigarette, or I need to hit my vape. And that was the trigger that always sparked my needing to go back. But it wasn't, that was the bad trigger that made me go back. So what happened was I took that bad moment, that bad trigger, and I said, oh, me quitting is hard because this bad thing happens. But that wasn't what happened. When I quit, a bad thing would happen, and I would use that vape as my way to deal with bad things, or any of those tobaccos. So what actually was happening was I was set up to where everything I did was a trigger. Like if I was drinking a sip of soda, I'd take a sip of soda, but in my other hand was always my vape. I would take a sip and I'd hit my vape and I'd blow it out, and the exhaling alone is like a sense of satisfaction and relief, even though it was killing me and wasting my money and my time. So if you're willing to try to quit, I see there might be one person on right now or two. I've seen 2, 3, 4, 5 people pop on and off. But if y'all do use any kind of nicotine or tobacco, then I just highly say, listen, there's no side effects to quit that shit today, and have something that you want more. Now, listen, hear me out. If you just put it down, you're going to have these things called triggers. You're not going to have side effects from vaping, chewing, and smoking and all that stuff. You're going to have these triggers. They're the little things in life, like when it rains, you want to smoke a cigarette. So much so you'll be in the fucking rain smoking a cigarette because it's got that big of a grab on your life. And that it's so important to you that you're willing to spend more money on that than you are into your future. So once I realized that all the money I had earned before had went into something that was just getting wasted literally almost instantly when I touched it, I had nothing to show for all the hard work in my life except for my life. Like I just had my life. I didn't have anything to show for my life. I didn't have any means of security going into the future. I literally was living paycheck to paycheck, if not even a little further behind. You know, some bills had been piling up, and if anything would have happened to me and my ability to earn money, I'd be in a really bad situation. So then what happens? I was really fortunate to have gotten out of it before that, but I ended up relying on people. So how well are the people in your life? Um, are they good enough people and friends that where if you need to fall back on them, you really can? You know, my parents have. I've been fortunate. My parents have always been there for me. So if I was to fall back, they'd catch me. But it's not always like that for everybody. Sometimes you got to have your own network and whatever things going on to give yourself security. So just be a good person. Like just be a good person. Find someone that you can live this journey through with, and start saving some resources. Don't spend everything you earn, especially if it's something that's killing you, like cigarettes and chewing tobacco. But back to this little thing, y'all. So that's just life 101. This is one of my first podcasts. That's why we're going over this like this. I found a way to start acquiring a lot of assets, and I have been. But I got really into crypto, especially. I thought that when we were at $15,000 for Bitcoin this cycle, that it was going to drop down to 10, and it bumped up to over 20. And then I was like, shit, it's come back down to 15 at least. I waited, it went to like 25. And I was like, shit, I lost the opportunity. Like from 15 to 25 is a 60% jump or something. And I lost that whole opportunity. And I learned some valuable lessons that way. Many times, like some lessons that I learned younger years of my life, like in football when I missed one fucking practice and I went from being the starter on the team to the guy being in the second string for one day because they knew I was the shit. But I was confident and I lost that confidence when they told me I wasn't the shit. So essentially what I'm saying is that you're gonna get tested. You're gonna get tested and you're gonna learn some valuable lessons in life. And those valuable lessons are gonna reset you to change the way you look into things and help you be stronger moving into the future. So this little dip that we're going through right now in the Bitcoin charts is just a little dip in the Bitcoin charts. It's not going to break you. It's not going to alter your life and dramatically change your whole future unless you're counting on it too much. If you literally have to watch that chart to an extent that if it goes the wrong way, it ruins your day, you're counting on it too fucking much, guys. You have to get back from it a little bit. And yeah, it'd be nice if it went the right way for you, but it won't always go the right way for you. So then you need to be counting on a more diversified approach on things. I mean, I could go into some of the diversified assets that I own, um, nowhere near the level that I should be at for somebody like my age who's taking a life into this kind of thinking. But I got a late start, though. You know, mid 30s when I started investing and learning and trying to earn money and get into a position where I can retire, hopefully before 65. Um, but it is what it is, man. You know, it happens. It's everybody nowadays. I don't know any fucking buddy set up better than me. That's the circle I'm really surrounded with. Is people that don't talk about this stuff. So I had to surround myself with people who do. Now, what I'm saying is not that you need to find a circle of real people that do, but maybe listen to people who are in the type of things that you want to get into. So some of my biggest mentors that I like is Robert Kiyosaki, his investment strategies on real estate and using credit to basically grow your wealth, and Dave Ramsey. Now that's two counterintuitive things because Dave Ramsey is all about debt free, not and I'm doing that like that for a reason, and that's so you hear both sides because Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey are total opposites. Robert Kiyosaki is all about using debt leverage and trying to build your net worth by using other people's money. And Dave Ramsey is all about being honest and do the slow, steady grind to become wealthy. Dave Ramsey has made way more millionaires than Robert Kiyosaki. Dave Ramsey has the shit figured out. And Robert Kiyosaki is like adding gasoline to Dave Ramsey's fire if you can figure that shit out. But look, man, you're going to fuck up some, trust me. Those are two good role models, and that's two ends of the spectrum. In between all that shit is people who are building businesses. You have like Alex Hormozy, he's built multi businesses. You have people who are into investing. I'll even name drop some crypto YouTubers if you really want to know some people that I listen to. But Michael Saylor's like the fucking goat. He's the Giga Chad. But if you want to know like some really dirty, down to earth YouTuber, that's like Alex Becker is really down to earth and a dirty, grindy type of YouTuber. If you want to put your dick into a pencil sharpener, you go follow Alex Becker, and if you follow him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you know, if you want to look at some more level-headed type investors, you could follow like Altcoin Daily. You could follow um, Elio Trades. You could follow. I love Ivan on Tech. He's a really smart fella. And you know, there's a local guy that he doesn't even know I exist, but I know he exists. Um, I forgot his name. That's how much I know he exists. Whatever. It's irrelevant. I forgot his name. Um, God, what is his name? Crypto Jeb. Yeah, he's a good dude too, and he follows Dave Ramsey as well. However, doesn't really he doesn't really follow Dave Ramsey's principles more so than he understands his principles, which is kind of where I'm at with principles too on Dave Ramsey. But so those are some people that I've surrounded myself with, and the list goes on and on. Now, I mean, I can't sit here and tell you all the people I listen to for financial advice, but I know that I didn't know shit until I started listening to these people talk. So you have to save a little bit for the future. That's how you become secure in your life. Because last thing you want is for something bad to happen to you and you be living paycheck to paycheck and not having acquired any assets and then being caught red-handed or with your pants down, better said, and not able to sustain your current lifestyle. So you start losing stuff or not able to sustain your lifestyle, but then depending on people. And that's the worst situation that can happen to you. So it's time to make a change. If you're fucking wasting every penny you earn or you're not earning enough pennies to get by, then you got to fix that shit. You have to go out and earn more pennies. You have to cut back on some of the unnecessary spending. There's people who feed a family on $100 a week. It can fucking be done. There's people that work all days that they're awake. I'm pretty much one of them. I mean, it happens. And if you don't have work to do, then you make the work. I'll give you another tip on a way that I earn a lot of money. Sell stuff on eBay. The first thing you do is sell things you don't need. That way you get the hang of it and start experiencing what it's like to sell on eBay. And guess what? The worst thing ever is going to happen. Something that you really liked, that was in your personal collection, that had very little value to someone else. You sold it, let go because you had paid, and they complained. And they wanted to return. And they didn't want to return, they just wanted a refund. They're like, dirty clothes. I want a refund. You're going to get stuck with a question. What do I do? Do I complain, say no refund, lose my ability to sell onto the marketplace? Or do I give them a refund and lose the item that I held valuable and pretty much gave away? And I'll tell you the right thing to do. Have the long-term outlook. The long-term outlook is saying that I can't afford to lose this marketplace that I have the access to. It's more important than the item. I'll get more items. People will give you items. I do it for people all the time. I've given out tons of items and seen people become successful off the items and make plenty of money, only to squander and waste it and throw it back away. So save the marketplace, replace the item. Okay, so that's one way you can make more money. You can work more hours, or you can find a second job. Hey guys, I have a family. How am I going to do that? Look, you're not going to get to sleep till 12 o'clock doing the lifestyle to sustain and feed a family. Feeding your family is crazy. If you want to go out and do stupid shit and not be prepared for the consequences, that's on you. But guess what? You're going to be responsible for the consequences, whether or not you're prepared for the consequences. So start accepting your responsibility. If you have a family and you're a parent, it's time to accept your responsibility and stop playing the victim game, because a kid who is born into this world is truly a victim if you do that. So don't be the guy making the person or the girl making the kid the victim. Make them part of your team. You can help them grow with you. That's what my father did. Me and my father are in business together. We have a very successful company that makes a lot of money, and we work together. We're a family. A lot of my family works with us, and and that is so much more valuable than just having this whole poor pity me fucking outlook on life, and not accepting the responsibilities that you've pretty much set yourself up for. So go ahead and grow up. That's the first thing that I would say about that. And secondly, if you feel hopeless, then you need to find those mentors. And sometimes it takes a real mentor in the real world to help you out. And this might seem like I'm a mile away or 100 million miles away through a fucking computer. But you literally are talking to a normal person here. I've been through some shit, and I've had to figure out how to overcome those things my own way. And I'm willing to share any of my information. I'm right here. I have a chat, and guess what? There hasn't been a single comment on the chat. And that's okay, because I'm not really doing this for anybody. I'm kind of doing this for myself. So this is my way of talking through the shit I've been through and how I'm moving forward. Because what the title of the video is, that this is the buying opportunity. This is a dip in the Bitcoin cycle, and it's not the end of the Bitcoin cycle. That's for sure. It's going to go way farther than this, and it doesn't matter if it goes that far. This bull run, stop rushing your whole future. You have to go through the steps to get to the destination. And the destination is not the reward. The journey is the reward. Just remember that part. I think I should quit on that, y'all. It's been about 35 minutes. I really appreciate the one like I do have, and anybody who watched. And like I said, this isn't for y'all, it's for me, and this is not financial advice. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time.